Summer is typically the time of year when we explore, see what this country has to offer. But this year is different.
Branson doesn't have any other economic engine other than tourism.
For travelers and those who rely on them.
We're in Big Sky country showing you how businesses here are trying to survive.
The unique paths some are taking to make it through, why they say a second wave could be even more devastating. This is The Race.
Welcome to The Race, I'm Chris Stewart. Tourism is a multi-billion-dollar industry here in Montana. And even though the amount of coronavirus cases in this state is low compared to more populous places, this pandemic is having a direct impact on those who rely on the people who come here to explore.
There's something unique about places like this. The uncertainty of what you could find.
Well, come on over. Come on, Jenny.
That has always driven Joseph Haas's guide and outfitting business. But this year has brought a kind of uncertainty unique to anything he's faced before.
By February, it just cratered to almost zero in terms of requests for even any information at all.
What's going through your mind when you see that kind of dip?
It was scary. It was scary.
This time of year, people travel from all over to have Haas lead them on multi-day horseback tours through the Montana wilderness. Usually.
The mix has changed dramatically, so we have very few customers from the East or West Coast. California particularly, we've seen almost nothing from California.
Bulk of our traffic comes from in the summertime is people going from park to park, because we are on the shortest route, most direct route between Yellowstone and Glacier National Parks.
A few miles down the road is the stage stop inn in Shodo. Population, 1,713.
We've probably had at least 95% of our events that we had booked canceled.
Experts think hotel occupancy levels won't recover until 2022 nationwide. Owner Barb Bama doesn't know if her hotel will make it that far.
It's not sustaining itself. You know, how long we can go? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Right now, I have one person. Normally I would have 2 or 3 in the summer.
Joseph says reservations have started to pick up again, and as he starts to lead people back into the wild, he hopes the struggles he's faced this year stay unique to 2020.
There's so much more known about, the coronavirus now, that if they can travel, I think there's the known will outweigh the risks for a lot of those people.
For people who live in tourist towns, food banks are a vital lifeline in the off-season when business is slow. But Alexa Liaco found demand is still high in one popular tourist destination at the height of the season.
It's a company town, and the company is tourism.
Branson, Missouri is a Midwest marvel. You can find Hollywood, history, and everything in between. But behind the attractions, families struggle to get by.
Everybody works for tourism in one way or another. They're not really intended to be jobs that people are supposed to try to raise a family on, but yet people need jobs, and that's what they're trying to do.
Each winter, those jobs vanish with the tourists.
Our unemployment spikes to over 20%.
So families rely on places like the Christian Action Ministries Food Bank.
Wasn't for places like this, like I said, I'd go hungry.
We visited the town earlier this year to see how people made it through those winter months. Then tourists were supposed to come back with the warmer weather. But this year, COVID-19 came instead, skyrocketing hunger higher than ever before.
Just at the time that people were getting their callbacks to work or expecting to get their callbacks is when they started getting their layoff notices this year. So it was a double whammy.
Have you been here before?
The demand for service was unprecedented. It was so high. We had never seen the numbers that we were seeing.
This is like my 6th time being here. I try not to come to these places. I mean, to be honest with you, for me, it's embarrassing.
Aaron Taylor says waiting in this line is a painful reminder of his reality.
The coronavirus thing has completely destroyed what I came to Branson for. I came to Branson to get sober.
He worked construction jobs with a local hotel chain, doing what he could to start a new chapter.
The day the coronavirus hit, I was laid off work more or less. I ended up losing my 3-bedroom apartment after losing my job. Became homeless, lost the kids to state custody because I wasn't able to, take care of them. My kids deserved better than what I was able to give them.
He says places like this food bank kept his family afloat. But now he says he feels he's drowning.
Taking me to a depression level and a shame level to where I'm no longer sober. And for the last month, I haven't even had the desire to be sober.
His struggle, not the only pain in this parking lot.
I really thank these people a lot because I would never make it if it wasn't for the food pantry here.
It's gotten hard on us. I mean, there's not a lot of income coming in the household.
We have no public transportation system. We're about 1,300 units short for affordable housing. And we're seasonal and low-wage jobs because it's based on service industry and tourism. So that kind of creates this perfect storm of poverty.
For some, there is hope.
God willing, it gets better. We'll just have to take it a day at a time.
But for many in this tourist town, this pandemic has shown no mercy.
I don't necessarily understand communities like Branson. It's probably time for me to leave.
For The Race, I'm Alexa Liacco.
The travel industry is reeling from the effects of the pandemic. Now Congress is considering a bill that would encourage families to travel. Jessica Paris reports it would provide thousands of dollars in tax credits.
It could be used for airfare, for hotel stay, for meals and attractions within a certain distance away from home, let's say.
Modeled after the homebuyer tax credit that was created in the recession of 2008, Tori Emerson Barnes with the U.S. Travel Association says if passed, this financial incentive would be crucial towards putting the travel industry and the millions of people it employs back to work.
Post 9/11, it took about 18 months for the travel industry to come back. From an economic standpoint, this is 9 times worse than 9/11. So really what we have to do is we have to get people moving again to bring the economy back.
The travel tax credit would pay back families 50% of their travel expenses up to $4,000. The refund would be for travel expenses made between the time of the bill's enactment and the end of 2021.
So we know that we need to get people traveling again in a health and safe way. And so we think that establishing an individual travel tax credit that can help motivate folks and push them a little bit into the market will go a long way. And so we've been working with members of Congress.
Chris Gall of Visit Indy says the travel tax credit would be huge for businesses in Indianapolis.
The tourism ecosystem is made up of lots of different businesses. Most consumers would think of hotels, airlines, museums, restaurants, and bars, but there are also companies who clean linens of those hotels, flower companies.
Some people are concerned about the spread of COVID with more travel around the country, right? So what are businesses that you've seen that they're doing to kind of ease travelers' concerns?
From Indiana's perspective, in the capital city of Indianapolis, we have taken great strides to put people first and foremost in the health of our residents and then subsequently our visitors. We
all believe that there need to be appropriate sanitation, there need to be appropriate barriers in place. We support the use of masks. We think a phased and layered approach is critical to the health and safety of the American public, but we don't think you have to pick the public health or the economic health of the country.
In the Indianapolis area, Visit Indy says more than 83,000 people rely on tourism for their jobs.
This goes well beyond kind of the glossiness of hotels and restaurants and having a getaway. There's real people, real Americans who are working and depending on tourism for a paycheck.
The U.S. Travel Association hopes Congress votes on the bill by early August. I'm Jessica Paris reporting.
More to come. Stick with us.